This is the Michael Myers Fanatic. I'm here today to review A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, November 9th, 1984 to be exact. And it stars Heather Langenkamp as Nancy Thompson, John Saxon as Donald Thompson, and most importantly, Robert Englund plays Freddy Krueger. And it's basically about this girl named Nancy who's pretty much a normal teenager. Her life is normal, but then the next thing you know, she starts dreaming about this dead pedophile slash murderer named Freddy Krueger. But she doesn't know that he's Freddy Krueger. She just thinks that it's this weird guy with finger knives, as she calls them. And for some reason, her mom is keeping it all a secret. Her mom doesn't really want her to know that Freddy exists, and I really don't understand the motivation behind that. I mean, some are going to say, well, why would you tell that Freddy exists, and why would you tell the story? I get that. But my thing is, why hide it? He was a guy that was doing terrible things to kids and he was killed. End of story. It's really not a big deal. But the movie opens up with Freddy chasing his first victim by the name of Christina Gray. And she happens to be played by Amanda Wyss. And Freddy's stalking her, and he sends this lamb up the street, and she's screaming and freaking out, and I'm like, what's with the lamb? I don't get that. What's this thing with a lamb and Freddy Krueger? What is the significance of the lamb? Maybe somebody can explain that to me. He ends up killing Tina by slicing her to death with the razors. So we move on to this guy named Rod, and he's played by Corri. Nancy was different from the rest. She didn't want to have sex. She made Glen wait. I really appreciated that with the character of Nancy, played by Heather Langenkamp. But they think that Rod killed Tina, and rightfully so, because from what I could see, the guy had a few screws loose. So why wouldn't they think he did it? It's only natural. But she's dead, and Rod is in jail. But then Freddy Krueger comes into the jail, strangles him, and makes it look like he committed suicide. When he does this, everyone's like, oh, well, he committed suicide. It's no big deal. And then you have the character of Glen, and he's portrayed by the legendary Johnny Depp. Glen is a bit of a skeptic. He doesn't really believe in the supernatural. He doesn't believe in evil spirits, the boogeyman, and stuff like that. And the thing that really ticks me off is how they kept referring to Freddy as the boogeyman. They're ripping off Halloween left, right, and center. They're copying the shit out of Halloween. It's really annoying because the title of Boogeyman was a title that was given to Michael Myers, and now Freddy has it. So now the title of Boogeyman isn't serious anymore. It doesn't have any more effect on it because everyone has it. Next thing you know, he kills Glen. He pulls Glen through a bed, and blood comes shooting up out of the bed. I really, truly enjoyed watching this film. I got the 2008 collection that was released by New Line. I'll even show you guys a picture of it just in case you want to see what it looks like. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not a Freddy Krueger fan, but I really enjoyed the quality that it was presented in. The color was better, the sound was better, and it was just good watching something different instead of watching Halloween all the time. Getting back to the review, now Glen is dead, and Nancy is all on her own. She starts reading these books on survival, and she sets up all these booby traps for Freddy Krueger. Now, the one thing that the Michael Myers fanatic does not like is confusion. This movie is very confusing because you can't really tell which is which. And if the whole thing was a dream, then how did the mother see the blood squirting through the bed? But then again, you're gonna say, well, you can get hurt in real life if you dream these things. Still, it's kind of a silly concept. But you can also pull things out of your dreams, apparently. So I guess that was a good idea and a smart idea on Nancy's behalf to pull Freddy Krueger out of her dreams. I like that. But as we get to the end of the movie, her father sees Freddy Krueger, or what's left of him. Nancy successfully defeats him for the time being. She tells her father, go downstairs, everything's gonna be fine. Freddy comes up through the bed, and she says she's gonna take back every bit of power that she gave to Freddy, and that he doesn't exist anymore. She's like, you're nothing. She calls him shit. She says, you're shit, you're nothing, you don't exist. And then when Freddy tries to kill her one final time, he disappears. He has to go back to hell because he doesn't have the power anymore. He no longer exists. He's no longer a part of the real world. And she tells Freddy, she says, I want all my friends back. This never happened. It was only a dream. And she goes outside and everything's back to normal. All her friends are alive again. She gets in the car, and we can see the pattern from Freddy's red and green sweater. And we now know that Freddy's controlling the car, so he's really not dead. The next thing you know, Freddy grabs Nancy's mother, Marge, and she is played by Ronee Blakley or something like that. But anyway, he pulls Marge through the door, and the movie goes off, and they start singing that song, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And that's it. Nightmare on Elm Street, November 9th, 1984. It was directed by Wes Craven. I believe it was created by Wes Craven. And there you have it. Watch the film. It was a good film. I really enjoyed the 2008 restoration of the film. I think they did a good job with it, whoever did it. I'm the Michael Myers fanatic, and I approve this message. Nightmare on Elm Street, November 9th, 1984. Thank you for listening.